For 3 years, the entire internet lived inside a 6-second loop. In 2013, Vine didn't just launch an app, it invented a language. It created a new breed of celebrity, it changed how we consumed comedy, and it essentially rewired the attention span of an entire generation. And then, on October 27, 2016, it was over. Twitter, the parent company, announced they were pulling the plug. No explanation, no sale, just deletion. At the time, it looked like a sad tech failure. But with the benefit of hindsight, we now know it was something much worse. By killing Vine, Twitter didn't just delete an app. They voluntarily walked away from the most valuable format in modern media, short-form video. In this episode of the Glitch Economy, we are taking a look at the math behind the mistake. We will explain why Twitter couldn't figure out how to monetize 6 seconds, how they let their biggest stars walk out the door, and how deleting Vine became the most expensive glitch in Silicon Valley history. To understand the death of Vine, we have to start at its birth, because surprisingly, Vine was never an independent company. In 2012, developers in New York City were building a video tool. Before they even launched it to the public, Twitter swooped in and bought them. The price was reported to be around $30 million. In the tech world, this is what is known as an acqui-hire. Twitter didn't really care about the business plan, they wanted the technology. Twitter was stuck. They were a text-based platform in a world that was moving to images, Instagram, and video, YouTube. They needed a video player that fit their constraint of brevity. Vine was the perfect technical solution. It limited videos to 6 seconds. Why 6? Because that was the maximum amount of data that could load instantly on 2012 cellular networks without buffering. When it launched in January 2013, it was an instant cultural phenomenon. It hit #1 on the App Store within months. Twitter had acquired a lightning bolt for pennies. But owning a lightning bolt and selling electricity are two different things. Twitter had a massive problem. How do you make money from a 6-second video? The standard model for video advertising is the pre-roll. You watch a 15-second commercial to see a 3-minute video. That works on YouTube, but you cannot put a 15-second commercial in front of a 6-second Vine. It breaks the user experience. If the ad is longer than the content, the user leaves. So Twitter did nothing. For 3 years, they ran Vine with almost zero direct monetization. There were no ads in the feed, no promoted clips. Vine was burning money. It costs millions of dollars a month to host high-quality video files for 200 million active users. Twitter was effectively subsidizing a free party for the entire internet, and the shareholders were starting to ask who was going to pay the bill. While Twitter struggled to make money, the users were getting rich. Vine created the first wave of influencers who transcended the platform. Agencies were paying top Viners $20,000 to $50,000 to hold a branded soda can in a 6-second clip. But here is the crucial economic detail. Twitter saw 0% of that money. The deals happened off-platform. In the fall of 2015, the top 20 creators on the platform formed a union of sorts. They marched into Twitter's offices in Los Angeles with a demand. They essentially said, "We are generating billions of views for you, but we are moving to YouTube and Instagram because they pay us. If you want us to stay, you need to pay us." They asked for a collective contract of roughly $1.2 million, a tiny sum for a tech giant. Twitter said no. They didn't have the budget, and culturally, they didn't believe in paying users for content. It was a fatal miscalculation. The creators left, and when the creators left, the audience followed. In early 2016, Vine's traffic plummeted. The For You page became a ghost town. By late 2016, Twitter itself was in trouble. Their stock was tanking, and they were looking for a buyer. Rumors circulated about Disney or Salesforce buying Twitter. To make themselves look attractive for a sale, Twitter needed to cut costs immediately. They looked at their balance sheet and saw one item costing them a fortune with zero revenue return: Vine. On October 27, 2016, they announced the shutdown. They didn't sell the technology, they didn't sell the user data, they just turned off the servers. They viewed Vine as a feature that didn't work, rather than a platform that needed time to mature. Here is where the math gets really painful. 1 year after Vine died, a Chinese app called Musical.ly started gaining traction in the US. It was rebranded as TikTok. TikTok is, functionally, identical to Vine. It is a full-screen short-form video feed powered by an algorithm. The difference? TikTok solved the monetization problem. They figured out how to integrate native ads that users swiped through, and they built a creator fund to pay the stars. Today, TikTok is privately valued at over $200 billion. Twitter bought Vine for $30 million. Even if Vine had only captured 10% of TikTok's eventual market, it would have been worth $20 or $30 billion. Instead, Twitter shut it down to save monthly server costs. It is a classic case of short-termism. Twitter focused on the quarterly earnings report and missed the generational shift in media consumption. They owned the future, and they threw it in the trash because it was expensive to host. But the story doesn't end when the servers went dark. In economics, when a monopoly collapses, it creates a power vacuum. And the death of Vine triggered one of the most chaotic migrations in internet history. When Twitter evicted its stars, they didn't just disappear. They became refugees, and like any displaced population, they had to find a new home. Most of them landed on YouTube. And this is where the Vine effect actually changed the economy of long-form video. Creators like the Paul brothers and David Dobrik took the high-energy, jump-cut editing style of a 6-second Vine and stretched it out to 10 minutes. They realized that the attention span of the internet hadn't just shortened, it had accelerated. They brought the Vine pacing to YouTube, and it absolutely dominated the algorithm. YouTube didn't just absorb Vine's talent, it absorbed Vine's addiction mechanics. So, in a way, Twitter didn't just lose their own video platform, they inadvertently supercharged their biggest competitor, Google. But the most painful part of this missed opportunity is the zombie phase. Years later, the original co-founder of Vine, Dom Hoffman, tried to fix the mistake. He launched a successor app called 𝗖𝗛𝗔𝗣𝗧𝗘𝗥. It was essentially Vine 2.0. The nostalgia was there. The interface was there. The original community wanted it to work. But it failed. Hard. Why? Because of a brutal economic concept called first mover disadvantage. Vine was the first mover. They educated the market. They taught us how to scroll. But by the time 𝗖𝗛𝗔𝗡𝗥 tried to return, the market had evolved. TikTok had added music licensing, duets, and a terrifyingly good recommendation algorithm. You can't just reboot a culture. The window of opportunity had closed. The audience had moved on from comedy skits to lip-sync trends. Twitter and the Vine founders had missed the boat they built. Even today, you see the ghosts of this regret. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, now X, one of his first questions was, "Can we bring back Vine?" Engineers looked at the old code. It was archaic. It would need to be rewritten from scratch. But more importantly, the user base is gone. You can buy the code, but you cannot buy 2013 back. Vine is gone, but its ghost haunts the internet. Every time you scroll through TikTok, Reels, or YouTube Shorts, you are using the format Vine invented. The technology didn't fail, the culture didn't fail, the business model failed. And in the glitch economy, if you can't figure out how to make money, it doesn't matter how cool you are, you get deleted.